But since I'm so great at monologues, I just woke up. You can tell I had a rough night sleeping last night. I slept in a pool of sweat the entire night. I hate that. So I was thinking about my broadcasting. And how is that possible? I already have a like with 0 viewers. Gotta love YouTube. Anyway, chat room's off. So I was thinking about my broadcasting. Where's ECWN? I could be like, ECWN, look at me flex. I only flex for ECWN though. And only Brian Griffin can get away with saying the things he does. I still cannot remember that joke I came up with for Golden Coin for the next time I see him, what I could say to get him to laugh. Something about a golden egg. We have a golden coin, golden egg. Oh, what was it? It had to do with me moving and spending the rest of my life in a kayak on a body of water with my arm in a cast. Catching blub, 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 blubs. I can't remember. I gotta remember that joke because I'll get Golden Coin to laugh if I can remember it. Anyway, my sink is filled again. It's never ending with dishes. Never ending. Kratom, anyone? I only have 2 viewers. The trolls aren't here. Wow. One time I had the chat room. Here they just popped up. I went from 2 viewers up to 8. Yeah, they're back. Anyway, so I was thinking, a lot of people have spiritual gifts and don't even realize they have it. At all. Like when a demon is revealing themselves to a person, the person just passes it off as if, oh, it's just a figment of my imagination. Oh, my imagination's just running away with me. And meanwhile, it's not. I don't know. Like, people think that, you know, whatever Hollywood has in their movies, like, people gauge their experiences according to what the movies have to say. And if things don't play out exactly like how the movies play out, then people think they don't have any spiritual gifts. Like when you walk into a house, say you walk into a haunted house with paranormal experiences, and all of a sudden in your mind's eye, you start seeing these spooky, scary images of creatures and demons. And you're seeing these weird images in your head. But physically, those entities are not in the house. But in your head, you can see these entities. And you feel fear and you feel the fright and terror. You feel like you're being watched in this house. The images you have in your head are of that entity revealing itself to you. That's when you and I are supposed to engage in spiritual warfare and bind and cast away these entities. But typically people just push those images aside and ignore it. And unless there is something physically tangible and visible in front of them, they just ignore it. And I think that's how a lot of people overlook their spiritual gifts. The hoolie is wearing hoolie. Yes. I'm going outside in a minute and taking you with me. Oh my goodness. Take note. I'll show you what kind of day I'm going to have. Hang on a minute. Oh, wait. Oh, I did have it on the correct way to begin with. I thought I had it on backwards, and I didn't. What I felt in the back was a tag. I thought it was buttons. Like, because I have thermal underwear that have like a couple of buttons. Yeah, not had it on the right way all along. Making sure I put my pants on the right way. Today, I decided to shake things up and put the right leg into the left pant leg and take my left leg and put it into the right pant leg. I decided to mix things up. Spice things up in my life, you know? I think people overlook Abba speaking to them all the time. I don't think, like, when something happens, people don't like grab it immediately and turn to heavenly Yahuwah and say, what is this? Who sent this at me? What entity is this? Did this entity get here because I sinned and I opened a door? Did somebody else send this to me? Is there something in my life that I have that's false doctrine, false prophecy, false teachings, and just false? Because to get rid of some demons, you're going to have to renounce false doctrine to get rid of it. And look at all these people digging their heels in with the rapture. They're not apologizing for being dead wrong and missing and twisting the Bible. Yeah, the rapturists are twisting the Bible, and then they run out and tell their friends a false message about something that's never going to happen. You got a bunch of people online saying, oh, I'm a prophet, and the rapture is real, and this 5-year-old boy had a dream, and I told this 5-year-old boy it's of a rapture. So you're misleading adults, you're misleading innocent, pure children. And then these people don't repent for it. I got one friend that's a rapturist, but she can't figure out why her kids don't like her and disrespectful to her. They don't listen to her at all. They play her and her husband against each other. Her and her husband are never in agreement, ever, about anything. She's the only person in the household that has any responsibility. The rest of everybody treats her like garbage, and she can't figure out why. I told her, I said, you've got Jezebel. You're in a false doctrine. You're running around eating pork and feeding pork to your kids. You're not even paying attention to how Abba told us to live. That's why your husband treats you like crap. That's why your kids don't love you. You've opened up the door for false doctrine to come in. You accepted false doctrine from a fallen angel that's now called an ancient astronaut alien ancestor. And meanwhile, it's a demon. You have to walk in his ways. He's the truth. And if you have anything that's not the truth in your life, you need to eradicate it. You need to renounce it, eradicate it, burn it, get rid of it. Put it down, walk away to never return. As the follower of Yahusha, a real follower, I know that if you really have Yahusha, you will have truth in all subjects. Whether it's about Mars or salvation, whether it's about the shape of the earth or his crucifixion, you will have the truth in all areas. And if you don't have the truth, that's because you're listening to the wrong voice. And I'm going to tell you about it because somebody needs to tell you so you stop listening to the wrong voice. I've been trying to introduce you guys to Yahuwah this whole time since I started on YouTube. And still people listen to the wrong voice. I give them the right voice and still they go back to, well, I've always done it this way, so I'm going to keep doing it this way. Oh, well, Holly, my father did it that way, so I'm going to do it that way. Yeah, your earthly father. You're not giving any consideration to your heavenly father. Oh, Holly, Jehovah told me about a rapture. Yeah, and you need to bind and cast that thing down with fasting because you're listening to the wrong voice and it's giving you false doctrine. But people aren't going to do that because they're very arrogant, prideful, and egotistical. They want the popularity of being up at the pulpit, but meanwhile, that's what they want. They've never gone to Abba and said, what do you want? What's your plan for my life? They might be surprised. He might be like, get down off that pulpit. You don't belong there. That's not my plan for you. But people aren't even going to Yahuwah to begin with to ask him what his plans are for their lives. They're not humble to him. These people that don't live repentant lives, oh, well, I don't apologize, but when I'm wrong, I will. And this is the first time in 4 years that I'm apologizing. Does everybody have their cameras out? You're going to record this because I never apologize. Okay, guys. Sorry. There, I said it. I apologized. Okay. I'm never doing it again. And I've literally watched pulpits preach that to their congregants. We followers of Yahusha are to follow his ways and live a life of repentance, a life of submission to him, his ways, his plans, his will, his business. Not our ways, not what we want, not what we think is good, but what he thinks is good. Millions and millions of people praying for a rapture. Yeah. Abba can only pick out 144,000. And that's another thing. Look at all these people. Oh, I've loved God for 20, 30 years, Holly. I'm better than you. I'm a theologian and a scholar, and I'm more academic than you, Holly. So I'm smarter than you and better than you. And God loves me more. Okay. If you say so. That's why he put his living seal on my forehead. I'd say out of the two of us, I'm the one that's really talking to him. And I can see if people actually pray with fasting. I can see if people are actually following him or if they're just being religious or legalistic. These so-called believers, they say, oh, well, Abba doesn't really mean 144,000. It's just symbolic. He talks in metaphors, Holly. He needs me and my church to interpret what he's saying for you to understand. Heavenly Abba showed me all of Revelation. He showed me it when I was a young kid, five years old, and he showed me again when I was 39, turning 40. He is my rabbi. He has taught me directly. I am going to do a study of Revelation with you guys because it kills me watching these pulpits shredded apart. Oh, the 144,000. Yeah, that's 18-year-old virgin boys over in the country of Israel. No, it's not. And that's not even how the Bible reads. That's not what Revelation says. Revelation chapter 7 says Abba picks out the 144,000. I happen to die March 2007. Chapter 7 of Revelation, he picks out 12,000 servants from each of the 12 tribes of Israel, not the 12 tribes in Israel. And he says he picks 144,000 servants. What are servants? Servants are men and women that serve him, not 8-year-old virgin boys. I remember on fringeradionetwork.com, I invited who I thought was a friend on with me, but then he starts spewing about a rapture, a hidden day. Then he starts spewing about the 144,000. And meanwhile, what's sitting right in front of him? What's sitting right in front of the guy? I'm not an 18-year-old boy over in the country of Israel. Self-evident. And no, the 144,000 are not based on your skin color. The 144,000, yes, they are Jews, but there's a whole bunch of other bloodlines mixed in. They could be 2% Jew. They could be 20%. They might be 43% Jew. They might be 3.5% Jew. But he, Yahuwah, picks 144,000 men and women, not based on their skin color. And just so happens to turn out, Millie Gabry, my grandma who raised me, she was born in 1922. Well, back then, Jews were hated. World War II started in 1942, so she was 20 years old. My grandmother, Millie, hid the fact that she was German and Jewish her whole life. She told us that we were German and Irish. Her last name was Kutcher. That's German Jewish. Second to that, because one of the Rothschilds paid Mangley a lot of money to create me, I also got Ashkenazi Jew in me. Am I 100% Jewish? No. I know I'm 50% Sicilian. So right there, I'm a small part Jewish. Not 80%, not 100% Jewish, little tiny percentage. And in the year of 2014, Abba kept telling me, I choose you, Holly. Holly, you're my chosen. I choose you, Holly. I choose you. Holly, I choose you. Choose me for what? I want to see your return. Will you choose me for that? Because that's what I want. I want you, and I want to be with you. You, Yahuwah. No, there is no other you for me. Only you are for me. Yahuwah. And then when I come out with my story, everybody else is running around. Holly, God told me he chose me. No, he didn't. You were listening to my video of me give you my testimony. That's not him choosing you. He may have led you here to me so that you could understand spiritual warfare, understand that he only has one name. He may have led you to me so that you could find more of the truth and move closer to him. But just because he led you to me does not mean you're one of the 144,000. I don't know what he's got in store for you guys. All I know is I'm dead set on seeing him return. Holly is a flower, plant, or bush used in a decoration at celebrations. You're going to need some holly on your return. I want to be the welcoming committee. In Yahushua's name, Selah. Maybe he led you to me because he's calling you. Maybe he led you to me because he's pulling you closer to him, because he wants you to chop off all this other fat that's going on in your life, same way he had to do with me. He had to break me down before he could build me up. So maybe that's what he's doing with you guys, is breaking you down to build you up. Are you going to be a martyr for him? Well, if you go to him and say, what's your plan for me in my life? He'll tell you. The problem is most people don't like what he has to say, because most people want it their way, and they want an escape route called a rapture. They don't want to lift a pinky to serve him one bit. No, I got to get my medicine together. It's cold and rainy out. I got a lot of work ahead of me today. It's going to be a busy day as soon as I can get myself together. I don't know if I want that or something else. HTV is the best studio ever. Look at that monster over there. That's not mine. No, it's not. It's my friend's. It's nice to have background noise, though. That's why I tell you guys to play your audio Bible. Play it throughout the day. It's in Abba's will that no one perish. And there's a great falling away that's going to happen. And people are going to fall away from the truth. They're going to fall away from Yahusha. They're going to go with false doctrine like the rapture. Or they're going to call themselves rabbi. Or they're going to call themselves a prophet. Meanwhile, they never had a dream with his return in it like I have. And I can see it too. If you got spiritual gifts, I'll be able to see you got spiritual gifts. And there's a lot of people online that lie, calling themselves a prophet, or lie, calling themselves a teacher. And all they do is give you false narratives. They give you water. They don't give you milk, and they don't give you meat. They don't give you Yahusha. They just give you whatever they think sounds good. Other pulpits saying, oh, Holly, I'm not going to listen to you because you call yourself a disciple of Yahusha. Yeah. And in the Bible, it says, go out and make disciples of the nations. Now I'm a disciple and you're telling me I'm wrong? Good. I want to be dead wrong to you and absolutely right with Yahusha. Now, I cannot be both. I cannot be both. I cannot be right with you and be right with Yahuwah, because you are not him, and most of you are not even living in his ways. You don't know his name. You don't celebrate his holidays. You don't keep the Sabbath. You pay no mind to the 10 Commandments. Here's the difference between me and other pulpits. Look at my doors in my house. Every time I walk out, I read those 10 commandments. And every time I walk in, I read those 10 commandments. That's my Torah. Because I am a firstborn. Now, we're not done. Just take a look around my kitchen. Right? Take a look around my living room. And there's my front door. Again, look, 10 commandments. I read them every time I walk out. And there's my Torah. Let's see what these other pulpits live like. Let's go see these other pulpits, what they have at their front and back doors. Because you see mine. I wish I had someone like me 11 years ago when I was seeking Yahuwah to talk to me. But instead, I got the nowadays church and a bunch of people online that are still preaching what the nowadays face-to-face churches are preaching. Holly, we were called out of the church. Yeah, but you still got their rhetoric and churchianity and false teachings. You're not out of the church. You just moved the church with you to be mobile. If you really came out of the church like I did, you would drop its bad teachings and false doctrines and false prophecy out the door on your way out. But if somebody's still twisted up in their church, they're not relying on Yahuwah, and it's plain and easy to see. If you have the gift of prophecy and you came to me, I would know exactly what to say to you because I've got the gift too. Even if you had a different gift that I don't have, I'd be able to see that you're gifted and I'd know what to say to you. You go to these other pulpits and what do they say? Oh, Holly, I can't do a broadcast on spiritual warfare or prophecy. How am I going to prove prophecy, Holly? You know, Holly, I've heard of spiritual gifts, but I don't have any. And at my ministry, I don't get into spiritual gifts. We don't talk about that here. Yeah, you don't talk about it because you don't have any. You don't even know what you're talking about because you're not in Yahuwah to begin with. Hey, Joni. I love her so much. I turned my chat room off, Joni, so I could just talk without the trolls in my chat room. I turned it off. Once I get my computer back, I looked up videos on YouTube that discuss how some features that I could use on YouTube to get the bots out of my chat room, but I need my desktop computer for it. So I turned off the chat just so I could hang out with you beautiful, fine folks while you get ready for your week. I want to hear from you guys really bad, but don't worry. I'll fix things. We'll be back together in my chat room before you know it. So yeah, I was looking up videos how to get rid of AI bots and trolls from my chat room. And all I need is my desktop computer. Medicine girl. Yes, I am the medicine girl. I come to take the medicine. There. So my chat room's off. That way I could still come hang out on YouTube. Let you guys know I'm alive. I'm kicking harder than ever before. That's for sure. The more I learn, the more I grow in Yahusha, the harder I kick. So, what's the next topic of conversation, Abba? What do you want me to say? He's like, tell them everything I taught you. All right. You taught me everything. I'll tell them everything you taught me, but I don't think they have that much time. I don't think we have that much time left. I really do not think that we're going to make it to 2040. I really think that the signs in the heavens above and the signs in the earth are indicating that 7-year tribulation is literally right around the corner. Who wants to make it to the end? Raise your hand. Okay. Who wants a rapture? Raise your hand. Look at all those millions of people wanting a rapture. They don't want to make it to the end. The Bible says all who make it to the end are saved. And there's these millions and millions of people praying for a rapture, an escape route. They don't want to serve Yahuwah. No, they want the title of apostle, but they don't want to have to do what the apostles did. They want the title of prophet, but they don't want to have to go through what the prophets went through. Do you know the prophets were sawed in half? 2 of them were sawed in half. Yeah, the nowadays so-called believers, they don't want to lift a pinky. They want the title without the work. They want heaven without serving Yahuwah. It's my friend Zeph's birthday today. I love that name, Zeph. That's a really awesome name, Zeph. I bless the day that Abba brought my friends forth into this world so I could be friends with them on earth. So happy birthday to the people that are turning a year older. I pray they have a beautiful year. And that's all I do for birthdays. I'll just tell you I love you and be about my way. I'm going to miss Fat Bottom. I made friends. All the 2 videos I made before this, look it up. Or the last video, the last video I made where I was sitting in my car when Fat Bottom heard me outside and he came running to the log that sticks up on the log pile. He ran out to me and gave him walnuts. Too bad I couldn't trap him and bring him with me when I move. That way I could keep feeding him walnuts. Do you know how much time and walnuts I put in a fat bottom? All right. He's not out there today, though. I'll be living up in bear country, so New York, baby. I'm still not going to love New York. Nope. I'm staying Jersey strong. I'm going to be a rebel in New York and stay Jersey strong. Because when I move, it's going to be to a safe house. I can't wait to move to a safe house where I can be safe and nobody will stalk me. And if there are stalkers, that's okay. I'll have tons and tons of witnesses to go, that person's stalking her. We never saw that person until she got here, and now these people are following her. This is her safe house. I think even the neighbors in the immediate area are know that I'm moving up there to be in a safe, private area because I'm so vocal on the internet about child trafficking, satanic ritual abuse, and everything else. Because I know I really got spiritual gifts and I don't want people getting at me. I don't care what everybody else thinks. I know Yahuwah. And I know what he's done for me. I know what he's given me. I love you so much, Yahuwah. I just love you. You give me the best. And Abba, thank you for the life. Abba, I'm going to say it. Only people that truly know you are going to understand what I'm saying, but others will twist it. Abba, thank you for the dumbs. Abba, Yahuwah, thank you for the cages. Abba, Yahuwah, thank you for the mom talk chair. Abba, Yahuwah, thank you for my grandparents and Keeper and Seva and all the beautiful people you've put in my life that I've fallen in love with. Not romantically, but that I have love for. Abba, thank you for the life you gave me, because looking back, Abba, I would have not been happy with anything else. I would not have been. I look back on my life, Abba, and I'm like, wow, that crazy thing you and I made it through. Wow, I love my life. So I didn't get married and have kids and live happily ever after that way, which is what I wanted. I wanted to be pregnant right after high school and start a family right out of high school. It didn't happen that way. But the life that Yahuwah gave me is much better. Thank you for the spiritual gifts you give me. Thank you for the barukas. Thank you for the healing. I'm so grateful, Abba, that you gave me the life you gave me. I love the life you gave me. I love the extreme of it. Like, you gave me one brutal life, and I'm so thankful you did, because I'm at my happiest because of what you gave me. I'm glad you gave me what you gave me versus giving me what I wanted. Because in the end, Abba, I'm much happier with what you gave me. Like, I'm really happy. I'm stuck on you, Yahuwah. In Yahusha's name, Selah. Thank you, Abba. Thank you for the testing of Beelzebub, because going through that just made me love you more. It made me love you and what you're about more, Abba, going through that. The kingdom of darkness romanticizes things, meaning it takes something evil and paints it in a good light. That is romanticizing something. Taking a pathetic drug loser or drug dealing loser who's not a father and then say he's a wonderful man. That's romanticizing evil. So the evil will serenade you. The evil will say to you, I'm not that bad, Holly. Can't you love me? I don't know why God has a problem with me. I love him. Why can't he love me? Like, I'm not so bad after all. Holly, can't you tell you who I'm not that bad after all? I mean, I love you, Holly. I'm here serenading you and singing you songs, and I'm always here, Holly. I love you. I care about you. And the darkness will do this to you guys. I know, I've lived it. I have a basis for comparison. I lived it. I used to be one of those people I expose nowadays. I used to be backslidden. I used to be one of these people that go, but my favorite day of the week is Friday. So I'm making Friday the Sabbath. You know what my heart means. And we're going to do it that way. And then I would not surrender and submit myself to his Saturday Sabbath. Instead, I was making up the Sabbath as I go and then telling him he was going to be okay with it once I did it. No, Abba came to me and he said, Holly, I'm going to break you down. Then I'm going to build you up. And he told me that back in 2020, 2021. Now, what's interesting to me is that's the second time in my life I heard it. The first time I heard that was from Grandmaster Kwok when I went into Taekwondo. You know, the guy that wanted to train me for the Olympics in martial arts. Anyway, when I started martial arts, my Grandmaster Kwok, within the first couple of weeks, he actually had to take me aside. He pulled me aside. He got frustrated with me, and he pulled me aside. It was in the first couple of weeks, the second or third week of martial arts. I'm in a class of like 20 people, 30 people, actually. Grandmaster Kwok walks up to me. He takes me by the gi and he pulls me out. And I'm thinking, oh, man, here we go. Hang on a second. I'm having a hot flash. Malnutrition. So you're just going to have to deal with the backwards hat. It's the morning. If you want me to look nice, get dudded up with hair and makeup, then land me an interview. I'll even wear a skirt and high heel shoes for it. Well, maybe not the high heel shoes, but I'll even wear a skirt. If you want me to look pretty, get me a conference to speak at. Until then, we're just chilling like villains. So what was I saying? Grandmaster Kwok grabbed my gi and he pulls me aside and he's like, where did you learn that? I'm like, I honestly, I've only taken Aikido for about a month, but I hated it because the sensei always used me as an example and I'd come home all welted up. Everything hurt. I'm like, so Aikido for a month, but that was when I was 19. Now here I am with you. Taekwondo, Hapkido, weapons training, tournament sparring. Now here I am with you. And he got frustrated. He's like, no. And he's like, where did you learn that? And I said, it was like a Jason Bourne moment, honestly. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I watched too much TV. And he's like, ugh. And he says to me, you have to let me break you down. I'm not going to leave you broken. I'm going to build you back up. But you have to get it in your head that you're going to let me train you. I don't know where you got this, but you got to let me train you. I was like, yes, I want you to train me. Yes, yes. Well, back when I was taking martial arts, I had no idea I was an active super soldier with 169 altars floating around and very much active. What was happening is I was catching the punch, breaking the elbow, breaking the jaw. Just like that. Yeah. It came close a couple of times where I kind of nicked the face of my instructor, but it was like a knee-jerk reaction where I'm like, well, I don't need your form. I just put him down in 3 moves. He's done. Next. That's what it was, is my instructors were throwing punches out of me, and out of nowhere, I'm catching the punch, breaking the elbow, breaking the jaw. And it's like, where did that come from? Where did that come from? You know, Grandmaster Quag was trying to teach me to block the punches. He was just teaching me blocking techniques. And there, anyway, thank you for my life, Abba, because I would not have been happy with anything else. I would have been happy being an Olympic martial artist. I would have won the gold. I know. I know I would have. That would have been cool. Being married with a bunch of kids would have been cool, but I think that I got the better end of the deal with Abba's plans for my life. I lived one badass life, man. Pretty cool. Man, if I was a mother or grandmother, could you imagine all the cool stories I could tell my grandkids? I'd be like, yeah, I never told your mom or your dad, but I'm going to tell you. You can go tell your mom. That happened to you and you never told me, but instead you tell your grandkid, but you don't tell your very own kid, Holly. That's what you went through? I don't have kids and grandkids, so I'll tell you guys all my stories that I lived. But yeah, I got the better end of everything. I missed bunches of blessings along the way. I shouldn't say blessings. I rebuke myself. I've missed bunches of barukas along the way. It's cold and crappy out today. I don't know why, but at least this popped into my head. I think it was Lodi, New Jersey. There used to be this club called Sound Garden. A lot happened at that club. The owner of that club liked me because I did not fight in his club. I remember that the owner came out. One day I showed up at the club wanting to come in, and the owner came out with a bouncer, and he's like they stopped me at the door, and the next thing I know, the owner and another bouncer's walking out, and they're like, "Are you Holly Baglio? Come with me." And they brought me around to the back of the building where there was an office, and he sat me down and he poured me a glass of whiskey, which I don't drink, but he poured it. I had a swig of it, but I couldn't finish it after that. And he kind of chuckled, and he did not make me finish it. And I was kind of glad because, boy, yeah, I did wish. I'm not a whiskey drinker. Anyway, he was like, "Thank you for not fighting in my club." And he's like, "You're not even pressing charges on the girl." I was like, "No, I just don't want any trouble. It was just a stupid misunderstanding. Like, I thought we were all friends. I'm going to stay away from him. Like, I've got no bones to pick with anybody. Like, I really didn't mean to upset anybody to the point where some girl's trying to kick my ass." Like, so, you know, he's like, "Well, thanks for not fighting in my club." He's like, "You're always welcome to be here." And after that, all the bartenders loved me. Oh, the bartenders. We partied hard in that club, man. Great club, great time. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Anyway, so I remember being there one night, and I kept bumping into the same group of guys. And it just dawned on me, I'm like, the way they act and the way they talk, I bet you they think they're mafia. Well, one of the guys finally, from seeing me so much, came up and wanted to dance with me, and he started talking. He asked me my last name, and he was asking me where I lived. And he started, while he's dancing, he's just talking. And he said, I can't even give you word for word what he said, but he was basically speaking about what our relationship would be like if we were together. And he's speaking it out loud to me while he's dancing. And when he's done talking, he goes, yeah, you live all the way in Far Hills, or now you're in White House. Yeah, you're too far away. This will never work. But thank you for the dance. Turns around and walks away. I was like, thinking to myself, wait a minute. You only said hello. You only wanted to dance. When the hell did dating, sex, kids, marriage, and all that come into play? I just met you, dude. If you want me to respect you, don't be so easy. Like, don't be so easy to drop your pants. But it was just the strangest thing. They were like Italians. They were probably mafia. I don't know. Who cares? And you would have to move out here, and you'd have to live with my mom, and I wouldn't be around that much. But when I was around, you'd have to be right there when I was around, waiting for me. And it's like, yo, I know how those guys work. And this is one reason why I did not marry into the other Italian family when there was a prearranged marriage waiting for me. It's because I know how they work, and I don't want that life. The guy always has a girl on the side. Always. And I'm not living like that. Always a girl on the side. And I'm not living like that. I'm not giving myself to a person that's not giving themselves to me. So forget that. And I'm not trying to be rude, but straight up, you get into these Italian families, the mafia, and that's what it's like. I forget what they call them. Their sidekick, the extramarital affair. There's a certain word, and it's eluding me right now. The name for the mistress, it's eluding me. It's like the word flashes, I go to say it, and then the word disappears. I forget the word for the Italian mistress, but I wasn't living like that. I wasn't doing that. Hell no. I remember telling one person, I was like, you think I'm going to live like that? I'll tell you right now. I think he was like the Irish mafia, though. That guy, I told him, I'll tell you right now, you have a side piece. I'm doing the same damn thing. And I'll even lie to you and tell you that I'm monogamous with you, but I'll be doing the same damn thing. I'm not living like that. That's another reason why I went and stayed with the dude who collapsed my lung. I knew within the first 5 business days that was going to be a train wreck and wrong. Just the fact that mommy evicted him should have been enough of a red flag for me to stay away. Nope, not sucker Holly. Nope. You can tell I've been traumatized and tortured and been through bad stuff just by looking at the people I chose to date. So anybody that dates that dude who collapsed my lung, yeah, they're messed up too. I know, because look at me. Look at how much Yahuwah had to straighten me out over. Yeah, any girl dating my ex or exes, I can say that. Because look at all the healing Abba's had to do with me in my own life. I used to be. When I was not living in Yahusha's ways. Back in 2017, 18, 19. I'm living in his ways. I am not missing the bus on this one. I want to be on the narrow path. And the narrow path is simply put the Bible into practice. You know, Yahusha was binding and casting away demons. So whether you can see them or not, they're all around you all the time. Bind and cast them down. When you're just sitting there flicking through channels, bind and cast away demons. Pour the blood of the Lamb on your TV and computer so demons do not come through your devices to set up residency in your house. Reject them in Yahusha's name. Rebuke them. Have Abba escort people off your property, slam them back in their body. Have Abba come and clean out your house and your property and dwell on it and in it the way he dwells in Jerusalem. Jerusalem is the correct name for heaven above. I'm going to stop saying heaven. I'm going to start saying Jerusalem because we need to be concerned with that Jerusalem that sits on top of the firmament, not some city in a fallen country run by a bunch of lying Jews. That's the wrong focus. Yeah, it took me a long time to figure that one out too, because I kept getting screwed up with Jewish tradition and screwed up with the Pharisees and Sadducees. It all sounds good, but when it comes right down to it, there's nothing there but air. It gets you no closer to Abba. What gets you closer to Abba is going to him directly. Take a knee, say, Abba, okay, these are the sins I know I did wrong, so I repent for this, that, and talk to him. And say, Abba, I want to get right with you. I want to know who you are and what you like and what you dislike. I want to know what you look like. I want to know what heaven looks like. I want to know your personality. I want to know, do you have a sense of humor? What kind of jokes do you like? Hey, Abba, I heard that you are a DJ and that you created each and every single individual and creature with a love song. What's the love song you sang for me? I want to hear it in Yahusha's name. Sorry, he's actually over here in the north and I'm facing the wrong way. I'm sorry, Yahuwah. Go to him directly on your own. Not only worship him, and as well as thank him, like, thank you for my life, thank you for my loved ones, thank you for my job, thank you for my hobbies, thank you for me. I'm grateful to you. I worship you, and only praise and worship go to you, and no other entities, no other gods or goddesses, and no one else who's trying to impostor you. No, only worship and praise to you, Yahuwah. I pray for this person, that person. I pray for everybody worldwide. I pray for animals that they're not harmed, sacrificed, tortured, or left behind, or left for dead, or unloved, or untaken care of. In Yahusha's name, go to him and talk to him. Pick up the phone. If you have to pick up your cell phone and have it in your hand, pick up your cell phone with nobody else on the other line, with no other applications playing. Just pick up the phone and say, Abba, I'm calling you this time. I'm not calling so-and-so. I'm calling you first and foremost. And when I'm done talking to you, that's when I'll go tell Joni. That's when I'll go tell Sam or Phil or Sally. But first, I'm going to talk to you about it and get your thoughts and your feelings. And please help me because I'm upset and I have these emotions and I'm ready to lose my script. And I don't want to lose my script. Can you get me a punching bag, Abba? talk to him. Go to him directly for yourself. If I didn't go to him directly, I would not have that profile picture with his divine mark on my forehead. And I'll be honest, and I it took me a long time to talk about this because I didn't want you guys to think that I'm egotistical or arrogant or any of that. Because I'm not. You guys have seen me. I have no self-esteem, and I've been building back my confidence slowly. Pride is not an issue with me. None of that. I'm not greedy. I'm not arrogant or egotistical or prideful or any of that. I am very humble. Some of my friends call me Humble Holly. My one friend calls me Holy Holly or Meek Holly. Meek Holly. That gets me every time. I'm like, oh man. I don't know. It just gets me. Like it's endearing. Just it hits me in that soft spot of my heart where I'm like, oh. I definitely want to be meek. Humble Holly. What were we talking about? So Abba told me that that's his living seal on my forehead. Abba told me that profile picture is Revelation chapter 7, verse 3 and Revelation chapter 9, verse 4. Do not touch the land, sea, and air until I've put a mark on my servants. Do not harm a hair on my servants' heads that have my living seal. And those that have the living seal, when the locusts come out of the pit, the people that have the living seal on their forehead are not bitten. They do not get sick. And it's only those people that have his living seal on their forehead that do not get bit. Everybody else gets bit and they get sick for 5 months. You know why I think Abba gave it to me? Because I've asked him over and over again. I'm going to keep asking him over and over again. What was I going to ask you over and over again? I'm forgetting. I'm drawing blanks over and over again. That's what I'm doing. I think he gave it to me so that I would show the world and try to win souls. I think he gave that picture to me so I would grab a hold of it, show the world, win souls, and try to get rid of demons. If he gave it to somebody else, they might have just stuffed it in their photograph book or said, that's a pretty picture. I'll take that out as a nice conversational piece. When he gave me that picture, I took that picture and it's been my profile picture ever since. Ever since he gave it to me. Nothing else matters but him. I was crying behind those sunglasses and gnashing my teeth too. If you really take a look at that picture, you'll see I'm gnashing my teeth. And you'll see I'm under demonic attack. And then you'll see Yahuwah reaching down for me. He has shown me the New Jerusalem. He has shown me my bedroom there. It's real. It is real. His living seal is real. The New Jerusalem is real. He is not distant, cruel, or far away. He's right here, close with us. I see him every time I look in the mirror. I see him in the people who seek him. But just to look at the world? No, he's not in the world. And he told us he was not going to be in the world. And he's been calling you and me and they and them and all of us out. Except these people don't want to go out. They want to stay in the muck and mire. They want to stay in their churchianity, their religion, their theology. They want to stay thinking they're the big person because they're academic or a scholar. Yeah, let me see your research. Your research is valuable, but your opinion means nothing. I'll be honest. When Yahuwah brought me to Russ Dizdar, I did not ever listen to Russ Dizdar preach the Bible because he was wrong. He was preaching a rapture. And Russ Dizdar studied from Chuck Missler. And Chuck Missler, great for his research, but bad for his Bible teaching and his Bible prophecy, because he's teaching a false message that's not found in the Bible. The rapture is not real. Even when Yahusha, after the 7 years tribulation is done and over with, and Yahusha's fought the bad guy, and he's on earth, and he sets up his kingdom. What was I going to say? Drawing a blank. So he's going to set up his kingdom. He's going to resurrect the people that did not get their heads chopped off. And after that, he's going to gather the 144,000. It's not a rapture. If you want a rapture, look at my profile picture right now with his mark on it. I've already been raptured, and here I am still on earth. It's appointed to man to die one time. Even the 144,000 seals are redeemed from the earth. I died March 2007. Oh, I want to see your return so bad. In Yahusha's name and in mine, Holly Baglio, too. Really? So the rapture implies immortality, but the gathering of the 144,000 is just that. We're gathering. We're gathering because we're going to live with Yahusha, and he's going to protect us. And we'll be welcomed into the Garden of Eden because he's going to give us glorified bodies, and he showed me all of this in my dreams and visions. So why would I let somebody else teach that Bible to me when they're teaching it dead wrong? I wouldn't. So when Abba led me to Russ Dizdar, I sucked Russ Dizdar dry for his research on how to get rid of principalities with legions, how to do spiritual warfare, how to deal with altars, and how to deal with demons. And even then, he never talked about fasting as much as he should have. He wasn't living in Yahusha's ways. Dizdar, my mentor, was celebrating Christmas, New Year's, Easter, all that crap. He didn't keep the Saturday Sabbath. He did Sunday worship every week. I'm not judging him, but I used him for his research, not for his opinion, not for his thoughts. I used him for his research. He was a stepping stone. And he never misguided me. Not when it came to my healing process, not when it came to my full reintegration, not when it came to my freedom deliverance. Abba used Russ Dizdar as a confirmation to me that, see, I'm okay. It's just me looking at you. Yahuwah dwells in my flesh temple, but when I look at you, it's just me looking at you. It's not another demon. Take the Bible literally for what it says, because Abba says exactly what he means. It's these other people that water it down. It's these other people that say the Bible's a metaphor. No, it's not. The Bible's the ultimate science book. It is. It talks about creation. People that are really intelligent can read Genesis and figure out that there's 11 dimensions. There's a little bit of a debate whether 10 or 13. I think there's 12 dimensions. And I think Yahuwah himself is that 12th dimension. You and I will never be that 12th dimension. But then I believe that we have dimensions above, below, and around us. We don't have other worlds or planets, okay? Planets are moving stars. Stars are just lights. And these lights, stars and planets in the sky, they tell us what's happening in Jerusalem that sits above the firmament. Jerusalem is heaven above. And there's still trolls in here. There's probably only 2 or 3 of my friends. I'm going to leave this video public, even though it's very informal and I look my horse. I don't know. I wanted you to see my face when I was preaching to you. Look at me when I speak to you. I would make one fine drill sergeant, man. Make my cup of kratom 15 minutes ago. You're late. Oh, time travel. I figured something out. Help me explain it. Okay. You know, when you listen to people time travel, they say, oh, yeah, I went to the year 3197. Oh, yeah, I went to the year 2505. They were not, okay, I figured it out. Praise be to you. I figured it out. They were not going forward in time. They were going back. Think about it. At the start of man, the years we counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? The flood happened approximately 2,000 years after Adam and Eve were kicked out of the garden. Yahushua's crucifixion happened approximately so they get kicked out of the garden. Noah's flood would be about 2,000 years later. Yahushua's crucifixion would be about 2,000 years after that. And you and I are supposedly 2,000 years past that. But I think they tampered with our year and they could have added 1,000 years to the calendar. They, meaning those who rule above us, our worldly and earthly governors and politicians and elites and Bilderberg group families and Trilateral Commission and secret societies. Now I'm off on a tangent. What was I saying? Abba. Okay, so why is it that approximately, what year are we in? 2025? Why is it approximately 2,025 years ago, we all of a sudden set the clock again, and 2,000 years ago, we started counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now here we are in the year 2025. And then when you and I look back to the time period before the past 2,025 years, we have BC. And then all of a sudden they count backwards in BC. So BC was, I guess Yahushua was born in BC. I'm not sure. But then from there, when we look back, we're like, oh, the pyramids are 5,000 BC, which I think humanity is only 5,000 to 6,000 years old. So anyway, I would, if you want to say the pyramids were before the flood, all right. I'm not going to dispute you. I don't know, but follow me. So we look back and on BC, we're like, oh, that was 1,000 BC. Oh, that was 3,000 BC. Oh, that was 4,000 BC. I think that's what's throwing us off. So when it comes to time travel and people time traveling like Al Bielek, when they time traveled, they were going back in time. But if you get rid of this BC and AD and then changing all the numbers, well, approximately, I don't know, I'm just going to throw a number out and I'm going to be wrong about the number, but say that if you get rid of all the BC and AD and that crap and you just count normally from the beginning of humanity, 1, 2, 3, all the years, then Yahushua would have been born and crucified around the year of 3197. I'm not right about the year, but follow me here. So Noah's flood would have been approximately at the year 2000. Then Yahushua came along approximately, we'll say in the year of 3800. And now here you and I are, we could be 5800. We could be the year 5800 or 5801, year 5801, 5801 instead of 2025. So if you look at humanity's timeline, just like that. Well, then when these time travelers like Al Bielek come back and they're like, oh, yeah, we went to the future. We were in the year 3500. Oh, yeah, we were in the year 2250. They were not going forward in our future on our doing this BCAD. They were time traveling back. Could you imagine before Noah's flood, all of these people traveling back in time? The elites, they're probably traveling back in time, trying to get advanced technology, and then they bring it here. They're not going forward in time, they're going backward. We never used to work for energy. We used to have free energy, all of us. We never used to live in shacks like this. We used to live in big, beautiful stone buildings that towered the sky. And the giants built them. And the giants are the offspring of the fallen angels who are now called ancient astronaut alien ancestors. They mated with human women, and out came offspring. And through these thousands and thousands and thousands of years, these giants are still here. And I think that a lot of our history, we've been lied to 1,000%. Our history is not what we've been told. We do not come from carts and buggies. We don't come from, as the channel My Lunch Break would say, we don't come from Donkeys Incorporated. Adam and Eve lived in a cave of treasures. Does that sound like, when you hear the word cave, you probably think like I do, like spiders and bugs and tight crevices, or maybe you might think of like going on one of these sightseeing tours into a cave where you see stalagmites and stalactites and various kinds of crystals. Maybe pools of water, and the water's so still it makes a perfect image of the ceiling above with all the stalactites. So when you look in the water, you think that they're coming up, but really they're not. The water is just so still. It's reflecting the ceiling, but it's just a smooth pool of water. Those are beautiful. When Adam and Eve were exiled from the Garden of Eden, and Yahuwah built that garden. Building a garden. How do you build a garden? I'm thinking like, anyway. But Adam and Eve lived in the cave of treasures. So obviously the cave that Adam and Eve lived in after being exiled from the Garden of Eden, obviously it wasn't tight crevices, spiders and bugs and snakes and getting stuck. And I don't think it was like a guided tour into some of these other caves where you see different crystals and stalagmites and stalactites. They lived in a cave of treasures. Could you imagine what it looked like? How did Abba help them form that cave? Form the stone? How did Abba teach them to build the cave of treasures? Did Abba have his angels build a cave of treasures for Adam and Eve? So getting back to the time travel, yeah, we were never going forward. We've always been going backward. But depending on how you count the years will change where you've been going drastically. So if someone like Al Bialik said, yeah, I went to the year 2500, and they're way advanced. And then Al Bialik comes back to our timeline. You and I are looking at our current year going, okay, it's 2025. So he went to the year 2500. So in 475 years, we're going to be advanced like the beings that Al Bialik saw when he time traveled to the year 2500. And that's the wrong perception. That's the wrong definition. It's the wrong way to look at it. I think that now I'm using these as examples to explain what I'm getting at. So what I think is when Al Bialik time traveled, he was going back in time, but because they counted the years 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they did not do things with BC and AD. Al Bielek was going back to the past where we were advanced. Nowadays, you and I, we're Donkeys Incorporated. We've been lied to so bad about everything. All of these great fires that we've had all around the world was to take this free energy and technology away from us and be kept in only a select few's hands. They have the technology from before Noah's flood that they were tampering with that caused Abba to send the flood. They have that technology. They have it. So what the fallen ones were doing before the flood, nowadays the elites, the families mixed in with the Bilderberg groups, they have that technology. Why am I repeating myself? Because it took me a while to really wrap my mind around things. They have technology that's 5,000, 6,000 years old. Human beings have only been here approximately 6,000 years. The earth is not millions of years old. There was no Big Bang. There's no evolution. We were created on day 6. Day 4, the fallen angel, the angels, the stars were created. We're put in the firmament. Abba placed the stars in the firmament. So the earth itself might be 10,000 years old, or 11 or 12,000 years old, but human beings are only 5,000, 6,000 years old. We're not billions of years old or millions of years old. The earth might be 11, 12,000 because, on day 1, Abba created, he said, let there be light. And then I forget which day, but then Abba with his own hands formed the earth. And we sit on pillars on a foundation with a cornerstone and a firmament over us, with the stars, sun, moon, and planets all revolving around us, but above us, and they're revolving around the firmament. And they are literal symbols of what's happening in Jerusalem, which is heaven above. So I think that's what it is with time travel. That's what it is with time travel. That's what I think it is, that they've only been going back in time, not forward. I think they've always been going back in time. If they can create the same frequency for those pyramids now as the frequency that the pyramids gave off when they were operational before Noah's flood, then they could line things up and go right back to that time period before the flood because they have that frequency match. That's really layman to explain it, but that's how, I don't know how to tell you how I see it in my head, but that's the simplest way. Matching up frequencies. Look at these Glen towers we have. Ocean waves are not perfect squares. That's frequencies. Look up in the sky to our clouds. You ever see those clouds that look like fish bones or ripples? Those are frequencies going out. There was one day I went out and the chemtrails above had a complex design in them. So these frequencies are sent out through cell phone towers, also known as Gwen towers. They're the towers that they try to make look like trees, but they're not trees, they're towers. They send out frequencies. And if these frequencies match any sort of pattern we have in our bodies, those frequencies can alter our mood, zone us out, put us in an altered state of mind, and then control us. And if you're taking all of these vaccines and boosters, well, you're putting materials in your body that are manipulated by these frequencies coming off the Gwen towers. If you take on a small scale, for example, say you take Prozac. Well, say they send out a frequency that matches the pattern or the frequency of that Prozac. They send out that frequency from the Gwen tower, and it that frequency hits your body and the Prozac you took makes a pattern, that frequency matches your pattern and now it can alter you. So it's really important to do heavy metal detoxes as well. All right, that was me spiraling. So I gotta get motivated. Here, I'll do you guys a favor since you hate my backwards hats. Yeah, I've got the world's mysteries figured out. That's more like it. Only 2 people here. That's more like it. I bet you one of the 2 people is Joni. Maybe the other one's DC. Now we jumped up to 8. I want quality, not quantity. I'm a fisher of men. I'm looking for men to serve Yahuwah with. Men and women to serve Yahuwah with. I want you guys to serve him with me. And take the Bible literally for what it speaks. In Revelation, first it talks about the spirit realm, and then it talks about how it will manifest on the earth. So, yes, I do anticipate with my spirit hearing and my spirit eyes, I personally anticipate to hear the ripping of the seals, the blowing of the trumpets, and the spilling of the bowls. The pouring of the bowls. So, yeah, I expect to hear it. I don't know if they're going to be a physical audible sound, but in the spirit, I should be able to hear and see it. Because those trumpets are blown in the spirit. Those are angels sounding off. Do you see angels? Do you hear angels? Sometimes I do. So I should be able to hear those angels sound off. You know, ask Abba for the gift of sight. Ask him for these gifts. You know, but stay on him about it. Like, don't just ask him one time and then 4 months later, Holly, I still don't have the gift. I gotta get food to eat. I'm so hungry. You want to cook for me? How about this? You cook and I'll eat. You know, Abba pretty much said to me, Holly, when people seek me, like I talk to Abba a lot, and he shows me things and he speaks to me in the spirit. But he made it clear to me, he's like, Holly, I give people exactly what they want. It's just most of the time they want false doctrine. They want it their way, and I'm not going to give it to them their way. But Holly, you came to me asking to see my return.